Ladies and gentlemen, fresh off the 4th of July weekend, we're here again talking about week 13 of MLB action. College baseball may be over, but professional baseball is still kicking it up. The millionaires playing for the billionaires for our enjoyment. And we're just going to take it the rest of the way. It's America's pastime at the highest level. We're just going to be covering it all fresh off the holiday weekend. I'm Barrett Boombastic, joined as always by my co host and right hand man, Travis T Bone Lovely. Travis, how was your 4th of July weekend?
Oh, it was fantastic, Boom. If it looks like correctly, you made it down to the beach,
Oh,
down
yeah.
the river around Corpus. I was up
Uh-huh.
here in the DFW area still, and went out to see the Rough Riders play on Saturday night with some friends. Got to
Nice.
look at the future of the Texas Rangers
Yes.
there and
The
their
future.
Double A organization. And there's some good baseball being played up there. There's some really talented guys. Some guys that are very highly rated prospects. Some guys who were high draft picks in recent years, and formerly very successful college players as well, and some international guys too out there. They're
Nice.
coming up. So it really, it's cool going to those games and seeing
Yeah.
now that it's different from what I feel like has been kind of recently. That you just kind of it was a mixed bag of what you would get out there. But that was a really fun time. Was out by the pool uh, uh, yesterday as well with some friends too. So soaked up that sun, got pretty dehydrated in the process.
Yeah.
But overall, a fun weekend.
I'm glad to hear that, man. Yeah, I was down on the Texas coast. I wish I could have gone to a Corpus Christi Hooks game. It's on my bucket list. I have yet to go,
Yes,
but
the
it's
Hooks were playing the Rough Riders up in Frisco.
well,
So
okay. Well, even if I wanted to, I guess I couldn't. So, but one of these days, we go down to that part of the state a lot. We have a bay house near Corpus, so we're just 30 minutes away from Corpus, actually. So I would definitely want to go to Rough Riders. No, a Hooks game, Corpus Christi Hooks, the Double A affiliate for the Astros. But alas, we did not. We were just chilling, doing some fishing. That sea breeze is so therapeutic. It was just sleeping in at times, swimming with the kids, building sandcastles. It's timeless, man. It's the stuff you live for. It's the stuff you get up every day, do your hard work for. It's just the good old family time.
yeah, man, I think I love that about the Gulf Coast is it's not so much Texas for me, but out in Florida, the Florida Gulf Coast, around Pensacola. Spent a lot of time there growing up,
Nice.
as my aunt lives out there, and
Hmm.
yeah, even in the summer, um, it is. If even with how humid it is, and quite warm in the mornings, like just the sea breeze is so nice
It
there, and
really
it's
is,
just
man.
it's something different down there. It's a little I don't know if I would say it's full. It's a little slice of heaven, but it's a little slice of goodness, is what it is.
A slice of goodness, man. It's therapeutic. You should try it out. But yeah, it was very crowded. This is the time of year to go to the coast, man. Just anywhere. But well, wherever y'all are, thank y'all for joining us. Thank you for watching in. And we're going to kick off the last half of the year strong, guys. We're going to be doing a whole lot more of our favorite segment, which we are doing right now. Trav, what am I talking about?
That is right, friends. We are bringing back an original segment of No Doubter here. As our
Yes.
content focus is expanded here, as we were really for several months uh, neck deep into the college baseball scene. We've expanded our show this year or two to really get more interviews in, more appearances of bringing creators on, going on other channels, things of that nature. We've just kind of shifted priorities a little bit, but we're really focusing on Major League Baseball here, kind of getting back to basics for the time being. That
Mm-hmm.
means we also get back to basics with an old
Yes.
segment here that we call Pour and Score, which is where myself and Boom, we each have an adult beverage of choice, a beverage that is vast majority of the time is local. Some place it's here in DFW where we are, or another part of the country there. A local brewer, distiller, winemaker, whatever it is. There we'll pop open one of these beverages, and each on our end, and we'll give it a taste, rate it, and be sipping on it here during our show, because when you're enjoying America's greatest pastime, you need to have an adult beverage of choice as well to celebrate, because when you pour, you score. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
simple. Um, So, boom, I'll as we bring back this fantastic segment again for the second week in a row, I will turn it over to you to what you're drinking this evening.
Alrighty, well, I'm going to be drinking a bourbon this evening, as enjoying the finer things in life. Want to give a shout out to my brother-in-law Brad for hooking me up with this bottle. It was very generous of him, and as I read the back, it is very patriotic of this bourbon. I wonder if that went into the thinking, but regardless, it was very good. So if y'all are watching, feel free to comment in, join in, pour a beverage of your choice. We'd love to hear what y'all are drinking this evening. But as for me, it's coming when it comes to bourbons, Kentucky is the mecca of bourbon. And this right here is no exception. Eagle Rare. That's right.
Oh, that bottle looks fantastic. I mean, that looks more like a wine bottle than it does than it does bourbon.
It is a very tall bourbon bottle. Wine bottles pretty much all look the same, but bourbon bottles are very different. You have the Blantons, which is like a little orb, and then this one is just, I mean, look at that.
Presentation is on point.
Oh, yes. Now, this here is from one of the most well-known distilleries in America, Buffalo Trace. So I'm going to go ahead and read the back here. This is straight from the heart of Kentucky. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, the cornerstones of the birth of a nation, epitomized by the American bald eagle. Again, 4th of July. I mean, was having some of this over the weekend. This is a brand new bottle, but there was another bottle that I was enjoying this, and it was so darn good. I'm about to have it. So anyway, the nation has come to represent the freedom and spirit of independence of the individual, giving the world products of the innovations that are uniquely its own. Man, this has got America written all over it right here. One such invention was Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. That is, in fact, early Kentucky settlers created bourbon, the true American spirit, in the late 1700s. By practice and protected by law, no other distilled spirit adheres to standards strict as those established for Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, and few other whiskeys can offer even a glimpse of the great whiskey making found in Eagle Rare. 10-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. So it's been aged for 10 years. Has a sweet, oaky nose and full, complex body, reminiscent of a full port wine. This rare whiskey is best served neat or over ice. Of course, feel free to drink Eagle Rare in such classic cocktails as the Manhattan or Whiskey Sour. So, I mean, that's quite an introduction right there. It's been aged for 10 years. I'm not exactly finding the proof. No, it's a 90 proof. So 45% alcohol. So definitely not too crazy. Very approachable, but I'm going to go ahead and pour it out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be a little generous this evening. So the first crack at it. Put the bottle back on. Boom. All right. Pouring it in a personalized Glencairn glass. My wife gave this to me for, I believe it was my birthday. Best wife in the world. Cheers to my better half. All right. Pretty good color. Nice nose. It's just a great nose. Just, you can tell the texture's there. So I'm just going to go ahead and just dive in. Oh, that's so good. It's smooth. It's not quite like Scotch smooth, like an 80 proof, but it's a 90 proof, so it's a one notch above. So, but man, it's very approachable, I would say, because it's in that lower proof range. But yeah.
So a good gateway bourbon.
I would say so, although this is kind of hard to find. You would probably want to start with the Buffalo Trace, the classic Buffalo Trace. But if you're able to shell out a few more dollars, Eagle Rare is what I personally prefer.
With a name like Eagle Rare, it makes sense that it's harder to find.
It is a little more pricier than the Buffalo Trace, which is their standard one. I just don't know. There's just something about this. It's got a good aftertaste to it. I mean, it's sweet. It really hits you there. So it's approachable, but yet it's all of 90 proof. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10, which is it's pretty darn good when it comes to bourbons. So once again, Eagle Rare from Buffalo Trace Distillery, straight in the heart of Kentucky. It is local for y'all for your in Kentucky. Of course, if you're bourbon, you have to do Kentucky. But we have had plenty of Texas bourbons on here, and we will continue to go across the globe. So there you go. What are you drinking, T Money?
Out of Tupps Brewery in McKinney, Texas, I've got the DDH IPA, double dry hopped IPA Alpha Drop. It is an India Pale Ale brewed with Galaxy, Nelson Sauvin, Cryo Citra, and Cryo Mosaic hops. So we're of the West Coast variety here, IPA with our friends at Tupps up in McKinney, Collin County, here in the DFW area. And a little bit here written apparently by Chris, the head brewer at Tupps. On the back, it says, "Call it our accumulated knowledge. Call it the best of them all. Call it whatever you want. It's just good, really good." And so it's, yeah, it lists out like the malt profile, the hop profile, the yeast profile. So 4 out of 5 on the body. Fruit and the citrus both score 5 out of 5. 3 out of 5 on floral, and then on the yeast profile for fruit, 4 out of 5. So I'm gonna open this bad boy up here.
I don't know if I've had a beer from this brewery. I am aware of it though. I might have. In fact, that can does look very familiar. So
yeah, so I should probably not pour. Oh, whoa, hold, party foul, y'all. I should yeah. Hold on one second. We're gonna.
Oh, here we go. A casualty. Ladies and gentlemen, Travis off camera. Oh my gosh. I guess we're just coming back from the holiday weekend and it's a rude awakening. Oh, he's got the towel. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, he has the towel. He is wiping away his party foul. Oh, the humanity. Oh, that.
All right, I'm trying not to make a mess, and I'm trying not to ruin my laptop and possibly electrocute myself in the process here. So, yeah, let's get this.
Oh yeah. Oh man, holiday weekend was just too much for you, man. A slap
really
in the
let
face.
myself go here.
No, yeah, it's just today's a Tuesday, but it feels like a Monday.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty productive day for me, work-wise, all things considered. But anyways, back to the business at hand here. Now that I've somewhat kind of cleaned up my workstation here, didn't do any damage to any of the important stuff here, so we're good. So yeah, we'll
look at
first off here. Yeah, this is what the can looks like here. DDH Alpha Drop IPA.
There you go. Double dry hopped.
Yeah,
IPA.
Double dry hopped. Kind of a just a pretty basic can design. They're not it's a good art. It's not the most eccentric in the world, but definitely a good design for it that they've done. And then this is what we're looking at here with the beer. So yeah, it's interesting that it does have mosaic as part of it, but it's not quite as dark of a hue. It's kind of a little hazy to go with it here. So good head. Yeah, the malt is very apparent up front there, kind of on the tip of the tongue. You can definitely get those notes of the fruits and the citrus as it goes down. It's very smooth, but it's very bold, and it has all the elements to it, just very there on display. It's hoppy, but I feel like this is maybe the first double dry hops I've ever tasted here on the show. But it kind of puts the hops almost on like the back end of what you get with the feeling when you're drinking it. Compared to
they're definitely there though.
They are definitely there though. They're part of it, but I think they're part of like a more holistic package of the beer. They're kind of what some of the rest of the notes that you get with the malt and the yeast that goes with it. So yeah, this is this actually isn't the first time I've tasted this beer. I got a 6-pack at the store of it and drank one the other day. And the first time around, it didn't super impress me. In fact, it was just kind of one of like the not as much of a favorite among the hop variety of beers that I've tried before. However, it definitely this time around has worked its way up and earned some points back from me. I'm going to give this a solid 8 out of 10.
There you go. 8 out of 10. Double dry hopped from Tups in McKinney, Texas. That's how you drink local right there. Yeah. Dry hopped. They put all the hops in at the end, and it just really gives you a hoppy aftertaste.
Yes.
There.
Yeah. The hoppiness is definitely more of like an aftertaste, kind of compared to it being more of like the head and the notes up front, which is, I think, the difference there. But still a very good beer.
There you go. And as we always like to end off this segment, we want to remind our audience to please drink responsibly. So,
yes, sir. The only way.
The only way. Cheers, man.
Cheers, friend.
Happy belated 4th of July, America. Baby. Man, America coming up on its 250th, I believe. In 2026, it'll be at 250 years, man. It's insane.
Time.
A long time, but not really when you compare to other countries and how long they've been countries. So still relatively young in the stream of things. But anyway, we digress. We're going to get right into the show, ladies and gentlemen. And we start off our MLB shows as we always do. No doubter of the week. So let's get this party started. And this one is going to come straight from the Windy City itself. That's right. If you're looking for wisdom, look no further than where we are about to show you right now. We're, of course, talking about the Cubs' own Patrick Wisdom. So let's set the scene. Here we are. This took place on July 3rd, the day before. So it's happening in Wrigley Field, of course. They're facing the Red Sox. They're down 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Ooh, they need to... this guy's only 2 pitches in, Strom, facing up against number 4, the cleanup hitter, Wisdom. They're down by 1 run. They need to win the game. How are they going to do it? Well, I'll tell you how. Coming in, light left, all right, boom. Patrick Wisdom sends it deep into center field, bobbing for it. They weren't even ready for it because they rarely get it. I mean, just look at that guy. He's so happy. Patrick Wisdom showing, I don't even know what he's showing. Is he showing a buzzer? Is he showing the scene of the crime? Look at that camel work. Beautiful. One more time. Just right down the middle, 95-mile-an-hour fastball. I mean, it kind of bobs a little bit. Don't even know how that guy got it. He's just reaching down, and then he's like, yes. I've been... What is he showing there? Come on, man. Is that a tattoo? Jose Altuve tattoo? Really? So, hey, I can joke about it too, right? So, that was fun. Look at that. So that's beauty right there. 450 feet, 110 miles off the bat. So congratulations, Patrick Wisdom. A true sight to behold, shall I say.
Providing some action there in Wrigleyville for what's been a tough season for Cubby fans.
Yes, it has been a tough season for both teams, really. So
yeah,
it's not like you can just bandwagon it to the south side.
Yeah, just tough baseball this year in Chicago. But
yes,
yeah,
but
I mean, there's not. Yeah, I mean, the Bulls did decent this year in the NBA playoffs, but yeah, I feel like the city of Chicago just seems like a perpetual struggle bus sports-wise for finding anything for them to be able to cheer out up there.
Yeah, White Sox won in 05, Cubs won in 2016. The Bulls with MJ, obviously, that was the last time the Bulls were relevant, and ever since then, they've just been in shambles. 6 championships in 8 years.
If Derrick Rose's knee held together, man, what could have been?
Oh, he would carry the team on his back, right?
Yes.
Derrick Rose. Where the heck is that guy now?
I think he's still playing somewhere. I forget which team he's on now. He's been kind of like a journeyman since he left Chicago, and but I mean, the man grew up in Inglewood there, the south side of Chicago, like very much a beloved figure in the city. So, I mean, whenever he goes there, I mean, it's a standing ovation regardless.
Oh yeah, I mean, they didn't really amount to anything. But hey, you can still love the guy.
Yeah.
It's not like LeBron who can come back and win a championship, a one
Yeah.
singular championship, win a championship nonetheless. So, but moving on to baseball, which is what we're here for. So, let's just kind of get into it. The meat of the show. Trav, let's start off on the eastern part of the country.
Yes, we'll take it out to the American League East, to part of the country where the weather, other than down in Tampa, is pretty nice this time of year in all these cities. It's kind of comparative to the to the just what feels like a stove here in Texas. It's pretty nice up in that part of the country there, the Northeast, the Upper East Coast. So it'd be nice to be up there at this point in time right now. But, we can still talk about these teams here and live vicariously through them. And with the Yankees, the New York Yankees, they still are on top of things here in the American League East. They have shown just a little bit of humanity, and that they are vulnerable as of the past week, splitting a series with the Astros. They did sweep the oh yeah, there was like a one game at the Astros where they played kind of by
They
itself.
lost.
Yeah,
They
2-1.
lost.
Let's say it must have been a makeup game if they just had that as a solo game.
It sure was. It was very random.
Yeah, no, I think every team has just kind of like those random like 1 or 2 off makeup games on the schedule because of the season starting a week late this year. But they swept the A's, got the series win over the Guardians. Game one of that. Actually, so far, I think they actually have one game that they're going to have to go play back later with that Guardians series, because there was some weather up in Cleveland that affected that game being played. But anyways, right now, the Yankees, they're 6-4 on their last 10 games, shown just a little bit of vulnerability, a little bit of humanity out of this club, but still far and away the best team in the American League East and all of Major League Baseball right now, with 162 plus run differential, 403 runs scored on the year, only allowed 241 runs. That's just ridiculous at this point right now. The Boston Red Sox, they continue to sit 13 games behind right now, but very much in the wild card race. The wild card right now in the American League, 1, 2, 3, completely is occupied by the AL East, with the Red Sox leading it. The Blue Jays just half a game behind there in the division and the wild card race as well. And then the Tampa Bay Rays occupying that third and final spot in the AL wild card race. Red Sox right now, they've got Chris Sale that is finally going to be coming back soon. Nathan Eovaldi, the shortstop, is also on his way back. Soon for this Red Sox club. They had an unfortunate series drop at Chicago over the weekend. They dropped a series against the Blue Jays as well. Did sweep the Guardians, did sweep the Tigers, did get a series win over the Cardinals as of recent. Things continue to trend in the right direction for this club, and I think you've expressed maybe a little bit more skepticism than I have as to the really the long-term ability to continue to maintain success for this club here. However, I think they have some good talent. They have some guys that are rising to the top, and I think them getting healthy, especially at this time of year, really really key to having a strong end to the year and seeing what their wild card matchup might be. And I think this Red Sox team still has an opportunity to do some damage heading into the postseason. So as long as they make it, the Toronto Blue Jays, they also continue to be just right there in the race as well. As I said, for the wild card, Blue Jays, they are on a 4-game losing streak right now. They're 4-6 in their last 10 games. They have hit a little bit of a roadblock right now. On the offensive side of things, it has been for much of the year right now. Alejandro Kirk, the center, slashing 315, 405, 505. Vlad Guerrero Jr. just doing Vlad Guerrero Jr. things with 19 home runs on the year, 53 RBIs, and a 266 batting average. Pitching, we've talked about it being the Alek Manoah show this year. The young player, the young West Virginia Mountaineer, has done a fantastic job out on the mound for this team. But Kevin Gosman has just also, we got to give a nod to him. He has hit the century mark now in strikeouts on the year with 100 on the season. 6 wins credited to him as a starter with just a 2.86 ERA. So, yeah, the Blue Jays, if they could just find some consistency, if things, if they could just maybe turn it up a notch compared to where they are right now, this could also be a really dangerous team heading into the postseason. So yeah, really, it maintains the 1, 2, 3 as we talked about with this club in recent weeks. The Rays are right there. They're just they just don't have quite, I think, like the firepower and talent this year as they've shown. Only a plus 15 run differential, 5-5 in their last 10 games. I mean, they're right there, but I think the three most outside the Yankees, the 2 most viable teams here in the American League, I think, to do American League East that can do damage this postseason right now are probably the Red Sox and the Blue Jays.
There you go. The Yankees continue to have a stranglehold. It is the Astros Yankees game was definitely very telling because they split the 4-game series. Astros easily could have won 3 out of 4. It was because they blew a 3-run lead in the bottom of the 9th. So it was all on one pitcher. They easily could have won. So the Yankees do have some weakness. So I don't know. I mean, it's just the Yankees fans have got to be worried because when it comes to the playoffs, you're going to have to face the Astros at some point. I'm just
target is on their back right now. Like
it's,
they're the hunted.
And I know, I mean, the Twins could give you a good run for your money, and the Red Sox. I mean, the Red Sox play the Yankees real well. So, I mean, but you're going to get that number 1 seed unless something catastrophic happens. Really, it's a battle between the Yankees and the Astros for the number 1 seed. Regardless, the top 2 seeds get a bye, so you get to rest your pitchers a little bit. So I think they really need to go for that. And if they can rest their pitchers, they put themselves in the best position they possibly can to really hit that division series hard, and everyone else is going to be fighting for scraps. I am very impressed by the Red Sox and how they've turned things around. I mean, they're the number 1 wild card team at this point, so their fans are got to be pretty stoked about that. And plus, we're technically not even at the halfway point, so a 13-run lead. Yeah, I mean that's good, but it could technically disappear. I mean, you go on a bad losing streak, the other team goes on a pretty good win streak, then I think it could be cut in half pretty quick. So you got to fight to the end. So, but yeah, it's just if the Yankees were just a normal team, then really you would have a 4-team tie like it normally is. But just the Yankees are they just said, screw it, we're going to do roids. And Manfred's not going to care because Manfred secretly wants the Yankees in the World Series. they're slipping some money.
They want that TV money.
Yes, they're definitely slipping him some money under the table. They're just like, hey, come on now, we're gonna roid it up this year, but you're not gonna do anything, right? Oh man,
paying other teams to throw games so that way the Yankees could.
Yes, it's bad when teams do it like the Black Sox, but when upper level
when the commissioner is
when the commissioner does it,
writing checks to make it.
He's above the law.
Friends, we are not saying that this is what's happening at all. We deny this 100% just in case anybody from the
we're just joking, guys.
Gets a hold of this podcast here.
We're not making accusations.
Podcast here. Yeah, we're going to get a cease and desist letter.
We're just making a joke, guys. Come on, take a joke. Anyway, moving to the NL East, and it's still the Mets show, although the Braves continue to claw their way into relevancy, 3.5 games back. But the Mets are still the best team in the East, I should say. We'll get to the Dodgers in a bit and how they are really vying for that title as the best team in the NL. But as for the Mets, they have a lot of good things going for them. Scherzer, A start from Scherzer is imminent. He is about to enter into the fray. Jacob deGrom's going to be making a rehab start this Friday for the St. Lucie Mets. So, come on. Your rotation's about to be at full strength. I know Chris Bassett is having an illness, but he will be back Thursday. Scherzer is basically coming back in the next few days. And DeGrom, with a rehab start this Friday, I would imagine he'd be in there for sure by the All-Star break. So, second half of the season, the Mets are going to be at full strength, and they're already good. And so I mean, you've got to give them an edge. The Dodgers are heating up because their roster's deep, but the Mets, I'm going to be very eager to see if they can do this, can push it all the way to the end and not screw it up like they did last time. But they do have some weaknesses. They were swept by the Astros. They won a series against the Marlins, but they were swept by the Astros again. The Astros, the bane of their existence. They won the series over the weekend against the Rangers. They won the first, lost the second, but then won the third, the rubber match. And on July 4th, they beat the Reds 7-4. So this team is 5-5 in their last 10. They're currently on a 2-game win streak. And it's the usual suspects that continue to produce. Francisco Lindor, 13 bombs, doing phenomenal. Pete Alonso having the best year of his career, 22 bombs, 901 OPS. Are you kidding me? That's insanity. Starling Marte with a 2.4 wins above replacement, 789 OPS. He fits. It's just, he was meant to play there. It's just, Steve Cohen knew what he was doing. He was meant to play there, guys. Jeff McNeil continues to have an 824 OPS. Extremely impressive to see him contributing, which definitely adds to the mix. Chris Bassett, with him, even though he's injured, he still has a 401 ERA. Carrasco's got a 464. He got lit up by the Astros as of recent. Taijuan Walker, 286 ERA. Max Scherzer is about to come back into the fray, and I think they need him. I think the pitching held off pretty well without DeGrom and Scherzer. Their runs allowed is pretty darn good, all things considered. But the Braves, they've just been taking advantage of the fact that the Mets have been absent DeGrom and Scherzer. They just continue to get those wins, and with Acuna back, they have really benefited from it. They are 6-4 of their last 10. They are 3.5 games back, 47-34. As of recent, they won a series against the Phillies. They won against the Reds, and they won a game against the Cardinals on the 4th of July of all days. So this team is just, they're proving that they won the World Series last year. They still have the usual suspects. Dansby Swanson, that guy could quite possibly be an all-star. 14 bombs, 868 OPS. Matt Olson fits like a glove. 12 bombs, 817 OPS. Austin Riley, 20 bombs, 855 OPS. So underrated, it's criminal at this point if you don't recognize his greatness. Pitching can definitely, it can do better. Now, it's not terrible. I mean, 332 runs allowed isn't too shabby. But really, I want some more out of Charlie Morton. He did do a very impressive start the other day, but overall, his ERA is still a 4.34. Really want to see that go down. Max Fried, 2.66 ERA, elite. Kyle Wright, 2.91 ERA, totally elite. I mean, Max Fried pitching 100 innings, for crying out loud. I mean, carry that team on your horse, man. He's definitely your ace at this point. Kenley Jansen, he's doing Kenley Jansen things. 3.58 ERA, which, I mean, it's not great. Colin McHugh, 3.82. Come on, man. He's got to rep the H a little bit there. But anyway, this is turning into a 2-horse race. The Phillies are 8 games back. Yeah, they might come back in, but Harper's going to be out for a while. So the Mets, I mean, they had an iron grip on this, but it really isn't that much of an iron grip at this point. So I don't know. I think there's something to the Braves though, but I don't know. It's just it's going to be close. I don't really. I can't really pick one or the other. I'm just gonna have to wait to see because with DeGrom and Scherzer coming back, I think that's just gonna reap dividends. I mean, 2 out of your 5 pitchers being some of the best pitchers in baseball. I personally think that's gonna just put him over the edge and have him win the division outright. But you never truly know because the Braves are one of the most scrappiest teams in baseball. So, an invigorating division nonetheless.
That it is. That it is. A lot of fun baseball being played out on the Upper East Coast of the U.S. right now, and I'm down in Florida as well too. Giving a nod to the Marlins down there. But now we are going to take it, start making our way out west. And, as you make your way out west from the East Coast, you first and foremost hit America's heartland. Yes, that's right. We're talking about the AL Central. And first off, we're going to talk about the division leading Minnesota Twins that remain still right there, very much in the thick of this and in the driver's seat right now in this race. 6-4 in their last 10 games. They have the plus 47 run differential on the year. They are working through a little bit of an injury situation right now. Chris Archer has gone on the IL with a hip issue right now. They're going to be hoping to get him back sooner than later. But you continue to have guys like Luis Arias and Byron Buxton just continue to do their thing on the offensive side of things. Joe Ryan shows no signs of slowing up really right now. You'd like to see maybe his ERA improve just a little bit from that 3 flat number that he's sitting at right now. But the man knows how to get strikeouts, knows how to close out innings and ultimately get wins as a starter. Certainly is very good for this team here and for keeping them in the division race. The Guardians, they sit just behind as well. The Guardians are 2 games outside the wild card race at this point, and a 3.5 games behind the Central Division lead. They're currently working with the fun differential right now. Unfortunately, as a team, -3 on the season right now. Lost a couple of games. They're 4-6 in their last 10. But they've got the Guardians do have some good pieces that you really have to like here. We've talked about on the offensive end here. Jose Ramirez, certainly. Andres Jimenez, the second baseman, too. Got to give a shout out to him, slashing 300, 350, and 489 on the year. Now, on the pitching side of things, we've talked about it being the Shane Bieber show up there in Cleveland. Tristan McKenzie as well, too, is starting to look like a nice piece in this pitching rotation, helping out as well. 5 wins credited to him as a starter with a 3.71 ERA and 80 strikeouts. You'd like to see that ERA get a little bit lower, but he can strike out guys, and that's a sign of being able to get out innings. The most when it counts on this side for sure. And then the White Sox, the White Sox, they do get they're going to get Eloy Jimenez back this week. However, it's as we've talked about before. Until the White Sox show us anything different, and they have been this entire year. There's no consistency. Like they had a sweep of who was it? Was it their crosstown rival in the Cubs? I think they swept a few days ago. No, it was the Giants. They got a sweep. They got a sweep at the Giants. Drop a series at the Angels, lose 3 out of 4 to the Orioles, lose your opening game to the Twins. Just the Chicago White Sox doing Chicago White Sox things, unfortunately, this year, and just a collective wringing of hands and wondering what is the future of Tony La Russa there still with that with that organization. But yeah, looks continually right now like Minnesota has the upper hand right there, with Cleveland being not far behind, and it's a 2-horse race until anybody else can prove otherwise.
Yep, just not very, don't have a lot of whole faith in the Sox. It's the Twins and Guardians are taking advantage of the fact that the Sox are just massively underperforming, negative 39 run differential. I mean, yuck. But they're only 5.5 back. It is technically possible, but I just think there's just something perpetually wrong with this team. I mean, yeah, they lost Rodon, but they still have everybody else. Tim Anderson, Luis Robert. I mean, come on, you got your pitching staff, Lucas Giolito. I mean, Lance Lynn. There's just no, something's up, and upper level management needs to make a change because I don't know, maybe it's a culture thing, but I don't know.
Yeah, so
You
we
know,
expected pitching to be a strong suit of this team coming in this year,
yes.
and it has not been that whatsoever.
You know what we need to do? We need to settle this once and for all. We need to have a friend of the pod, Ashley Sanders, back on. Maybe we can do a mid-season, look at this team.
Yeah,
And
we need to invite her on, and we just need her to like spill everything that's been going on up there in the South Side because she obviously is tuned in with that team day in and day
yes,
out. There, that has been very vocal at points on Twitter as well.
yes.
With it, if she can give us like the full lowdown of what on earth is going on there at Guaranteed Rate Field, that would certainly help us out.
Oh yes. So hope to have a lot more friends on the pod for the remainder of the year. So we will definitely let you know if that is a possibility. So hope to have her on again. But moving on to the NL Central, this too is a two-horse race between the Brewers and the Cardinals. The Brewers, they have a 3-game lead. They're 47 and 35. They're on a 2-game win streak, winning 7 out of their last 10. This is a team that their offense is underwhelming. I mean, I say underwhelming. It's their run scored is actually pretty decent, but it's just they don't just it's not flashy. Let's say that. You have other teams that have all stars. I don't think any of these guys are going to be all stars, in all honesty, but they still managed to get the job done. Christian Yelich, 8 bombs, 739 OPS, pretty solid. Rowdy Tellez, 16 bombs, 796 OPS, very solid indeed. Willie Adames, 16 bombs, 750 OPS, also very solid. But I mean, come on, you got Wong, you got Tyrone Taylor, you got Hunter Renfro, all sporting OPS is above 700. So yeah, they're average, but they're getting the runs when they count. On the pitching end, it's pretty solid itself. Corbin Burns, their ace, 236 ERA. I don't know if he's necessarily a front runner for the Cy Young, but he's definitely a contender for sure. Pitching 99 innings, a 0.92 whip, which is very impressive. 3.1 wins above replacements for a pitcher, which that's outstanding because no other pitcher on their staff has anything close to that. Eric Lauer, 384 ERA. Brandon Woodruff finally starting to dial it in. 395 ERA. But then of course you had the best closer in baseball by a mile and a half in Josh Hader. Josh Hader, 135 ERA. It's lights out for a closer. I mean, yeah, he's given up a few runs, but they are just that, a few runs. And by a few, I mean 4 total. It's just, I mean, that's just, how many times has he been in, right? I mean, he's pitched, I mean, come on, 26 innings. It's elite, guys. And he is your secret weapon. Of course, he's not a secret, but he is. I mean, you got just pay that man, pay the man, pay him to be a brewer for life, pay him to pour and score on your team for the rest of his career. Because seriously, when you have your guy on that team, throw him in any high pressure situation. I mean, my money's on him. He'll get the job done. But you have the Cardinals. The Cardinals have been an interesting team. At one point, they had a brief lead, but they just can't seem to pull ahead. But they are breathing down the neck of the Brewers. They have scored more runs and allowed fewer, and yet they are 3 games back. So what does that mean? It just means that there's just not a whole lot of luck when it comes to the Cardinals, but they don't need luck. This is a team that is just, they are having fun. They are doing what the White Sox are not doing, and they're having fun. And the fun factor It is an intangible that is very underrated. They lost the series to the Cubs, won against the Marlins like everyone else. They lost to the Phillies, though, and they lost to the Braves as a reason. So going on a little bit of a recent skid. But you still have the usual suspects leading the team in firepower. Tommy Edman, 4.2 wins above replacement. Nolan Arenado, 4.1 wins above replacement. Paul Goldschmidt, 4.4 wins above replacement. Video game numbers. Front runner for the MVP, in my opinion. 19 bombs, 340 batting average, 422 on base percentage, 620 slugging for a 1.042 OPS. And this guy's played 78 out of the 80 games. So it's not like he's been out. It just, yeah, I mean, this guy's gonna, if he just keeps it up, I mean, I don't know. How do you do that? At this point, like, how do you not slow down? You're like, oh my gosh, Paul Goldschmidt, he's just on another planet right now. He's I can't wait to watch him in the All-Star game. I mean, because he's going to be a sight to behold. Miles Mikolas, 2.61 ERA. Adam Wainwright, 3.26. Very impressive for his age. Dakota Hudson, 4.29 ERA, and Andre Palante, 2.10. Miles Mikolas really establishing himself as the front runner, as their ace, with 100 innings pitched. This is a good team. I think the Cardinals had the edge overall. I think they're going to win the day. It's going to be close, though. But I just think the Cardinals are going to win outright at the end. But the Brewers, I can see them making the wild card for sure, unless the Giants get hot. But we'll get to that point. But another tight division. The NL is very exciting.
That it is. Yeah, that it is. Yes, the NL Central just continues to be seemingly a back and forth race. Right now, between the Brewers and the Cardinals, Pirates, the Cubs, the Reds, better luck next year, and very possibly in the years to come, knowing y'all's organizations. Y'all got some work to do. But anyways, we take it all the way back to the AL West now, the American League. And we finish it out further out west now. First off, talking about the Houston Astros maintaining their 13-game lead as the front runners here in this division. 658 winning percentage on the year now, 52 wins and 27 losses at this point, on a 7-game winning streak as of this recording time we're doing right now. 9-1 in their last 10 games. They do great both at home and on the road. Yordan Alvarez, Jordan, he just continues to kill it in everything that he does. They're slashing 310, 410, 650, 53, 24 home runs on the year for that guy, with 57 runs batted in as well. And pitching, we've talked a lot about Justin Verlander here, and certainly he deserves the credit that he does. But Christian Javier has, has been doing a pretty good job as well for these guys. 95 strikeouts on the year. 6 wins credited to him with a 2.58 ERA. So it's good to see that support that Verlander gets as well from someone like Mr. Javier. Let's talk real quick about the Seattle Mariners, because we haven't given this team a lot of attention lately. Just after the hot start that they had to the year, it seems like over the past couple of months that they just kind of like quietly slipped seemingly to the wayside there. But they're still fighting, and they're hanging in there to this point right now. The Mariners are 41-42 on the year, 13 games behind the Astros. But more importantly, at this point right now, they're sitting just 3.5 games outside of that final wild card position, just behind Cleveland, and sitting just ahead of Chicago, the White Sox right now. The Seattle Mariners, the offense has really come a lot more alive lately. They're back to a plus 12 run differential, 1-4 in games. They're 7-3 in their last 10. What is this Mariners team doing? What are kind of the key players to know right now? First baseman Ty France, slash line 316, 390, and 475. Maybe you'd like to see a little bit more power behind his bats, but that's some good consistency that you can have at the plate. Julio Rodriguez, the center fielder, 15 home runs on the year with a 277 batting average and 43 runs batted in. And then Ty France is also the RBI leader for this team at 45. Pitching wise, you got Logan Gilbert leading this team with a 2.61 ERA. He has 10 wins credited to him as a starter and 93 strikeouts on the year. Logan Gilbert also has, 10 strikeouts. As I just said, Robbie Ray leads this team in strikeouts at 117. He has 7 wins credited to him as a starter and a 3.62 ERA. That the pitching definitely is pretty solid all around here. It's the walks allowed probably would say is the weakest part of this, but I mean comparatively to to the rest of the league, that's still 10th best in all Major League Baseball. So they're doing a pretty good job, all things considered. That 3.68 ERA is 8th league, 40 quality starts, it's 3rd in the league. WHIP of 121, that's 8th, and then the walks allowed at 235, it's 10th, as I just said. Offensive wise, the offense has been the issue in terms of just getting power and consistency there. 327 runs on the year. That's only good for 24th. A tie for that in Major League Baseball. Batting average is also 24th at 234. On base percentage, 13th at 317. And then the slugging percentage, just good for 19th right now at 382. But the Mariners are hanging in there. They certainly have a chance there. And I don't know fully how I feel about them compared, because their chances here heading into the second half of the year slide into one of those 3 wild card spots that are currently being held by the AL East. But I think there's some good talents that they certainly are going to be in contention down to the very end. And certainly pitching is going to have to do a lot of the work for them. And then my Texas Rangers, just once again, no real consistency here. They're sitting 37-41 on the year, just 4-6 in their last 10. They've lost a couple of games in a row. So we're doing this recording right now. They're tied. Baltimore, 7 apiece. Top of the 8th right now. Series up there at Camden Yards. But the Rangers, just can't really seem to find a lot of consistency. They get 2-game series wins over the Phillies. Drop a series against the Nationals, win a series on the road at the Royals, drop series at the Mets. They lost the opening game 7-6 in extras in 10 innings the other night. Yeah, there's good pieces here on this Rangers club. It's very frustrating for me as a fan, as much as I've been happy to see more of the success that they've put together as a team this year. That just the consistency isn't quite there, and they just seem to have a game where they absolutely lay an egg, offensively, or the pitching just is very much a struggle and can't match up with the offense that they've put out there. And losing these series to these more inferior teams, but then getting series wins over better teams. I mean, they have a problem with consistency right now. And I think this is a Rangers organization that is learning how to win. These guys are learning what it's like again to actually experience success, string that together, translate their game across all teams, not end up falling asleep on inferior competition, things like that. But I think it's part of the process for what the Rangers are building right now. I don't see it as a major concern in terms of anything long term for them. I think overall, still, you have to, as Rangers fans, we'd be very, very happy. Until us at the beginning of the year, heading close to the All-Star break, we'd be right about 500. We'd be ecstatic over that. So it's what it looks like in the American League West as of right now.
Yeah, the Astros are just they're turning up on another level. They recently did a series against all New York teams. It was Mets, Yankees, Yankee, as in a singular Yankee game, but they swept the Mets, split the Yankees, swept the Mets, won against the Yankees. So really best 3 out of 5. So you just have a winning record throughout then, facing the best team in the AL, the best team in the NL. Lance McCullers is on the verge of coming back. He said earlier today that he feels completely healthy. He's been doing, ramping up his pitches. He's probably set to make a rehab start pretty soon. You're going to see him in the second half. and their run differential is starting to get up into the top tier elements with a plus 91. You're talking about triple digit territory like the Dodgers and the Yankees. So it's just the Astros, their lineup is so stacked. They're so deep. Jordan Alvarez is playing outside of his mind. Really, it's the MVP is between him and Judge at this point. Very comparable numbers, but Jordan, ever since he got paid, he's just a freak of nature, man. He's so good and worth every penny of that. What was it? $116 million, a complete steal. But hey, it was his choice. He signed the dotted line. The Astros, Jim Crane, he is just such a good owner. Yeah, he overlooked the scandal, but hey, when it comes to fiscal responsibility, Crane knows what he's doing.
Yes.
Out goes Correa, in comes Pena, an AL Rookie of the Year frontrunner, for crying out loud. So the future is bright for the Astros, and I just don't see it turning off anytime soon. Our farm system is so deep. It's just other teams just need to emulate us at some point if they want to go to the top. And really, it takes suffering, but it's just if you have a very sustainable farm system, where you just have we have so many people, like our second tier people that are not quite the 40 man. Any one of those guys really could be a starter on another team. It's just, I'm telling you, our starters are it's so incredibly deep. And it's just going to benefit us because we can trade. Trade deadline's coming up. And in fact, the trade deadline's coming up by the end of this month. So, I mean, I really think the Astros, I think they definitely need to get some extra bullpens, maybe some more lefty relievers. But man, I'm not worried about the Astros at all. I think hopefully they can get a number 1 or 2 seed, get that home field advantage. I think that by as far as the Rangers. Oh man, I think you've covered it well. They are 5 games out of the wild card. At this point, this is all they have to hope for. But
yeah. I mean,
we'll see.
Wait, like we're gonna for the stories that we have been storylines that we've been covering with the American League and really over the past past month to month and a half to change. We're going to need to see both the Yankees and the Astros like really, really falter and just like completely shake up what the final standings and seeding could be for the American League this year. Because other than that, yeah, it's and see just more weakness exposed in the American League East for it to look like teams like the White Sox or the Guardians or the Rangers or the Mariners really have a legitimate shot of getting up there into one of those final spots in the postseason field and have any possibility to make some noise there. But right now, it just doesn't seem like the Rangers have the horses to do it.
They sure don't. Maybe next year, right? I guess you just keep saying that, and it never comes to fruition.
Hey, we do that across the street with the Cowboys all the time, so
yes,
we're used to it.
The Cowboys. Don't even get me started. Anyway, last but not least, the NL West, and it is the Dodgers show. They have the best record in the National League, the best run differential, also with a very impressive plus 140. They are starting to gain some breathing room on the Padres. Why? Well, they swept them in well, no, scratch that. They won 3 out of 4 games against them recently, so that's going to help. But they did lose a series against the Rockies beforehand. But they beat up on their little brother, the Padres, and they also won against the Rockies on 4th of July. This Dodger squad, they're so deep. They're kind of like the Astros. It's just they have a good system as well. Trey Turner, 11 bombs, 850 OPS. insanity. Freddie Freeman, Mr. Stuck in LA, Freddie Freeman, 10 bombs, 302 batting average, 876 OPS, very impressive. Justin Turner continues to underperform with a 699 OPS. Cody Bellinger, 11 bombs, 666 OPS. I guess baby steps when it comes to that guy. It's good to see him actually somewhat contribute as opposed to just be completely non existent. Chris Taylor recently got injured, which is a huge blow to them. He is super utility man. He has a left foot fracture. Hope to see him back soon. Mookie Betts is doing Mookie Betts things. 17 bombs, 540 slugging, 895 OPS. Insanity. Will Smith, 807 OPS, 13 bombs. My goodness. I mean, that's just out of a catcher, for crying out loud. I mean, that guy's just got all the swag in the world. Pitching continues to be elite. Tony Gonsolin, 154 ERA. I mean, what? 0.82 whip? This guy's got to be in the Cy Young conversation. And, all this to talk about Walker Bueller's falling off a map. He's been dealing with injury issues, but Gonsolin, Arias has a 257 ERA, Anderson 309. I mean, that's elite numbers. This is a team that is so deep. Craig Kimbrell, yeah, 478 ERA, not that great, but it doesn't matter really at this point because everyone else is picking up the slack. And the Padres, they're 5 games back. Granted, they lost a lot against the Dodgers, and they did take a blow because, I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Tatis never came back. It's just, his situation is just far too volatile. I mean, you never know, which is just sad. I mean, San Diego is such a beautiful city, and it's about time that they have someone to celebrate like Tatis. He's been the face of the baseball, for crying out loud. But it's just, and as of recent on the 3rd, I mean, the Padres are considering having him play the outfield when he's able to return to action. That is, I guess that's to lessen the wear and tear on him, and maybe put him in the outfield. He played there last year a little bit, and he was able to do pretty well, but whatever they can do to get him back, because I think he will bring a lot of excitement. Manny Machado continues to hold his own. 915 OPS and 12 bombs. The guy's probably going to be an all-star. Jake Cronenworth, 720 OPS. Profar with the 745 OPS. I mean, Ha-Seong Kim, for crying out loud, 678 OPS. That's actually not that great, but it's just their pitching is what's really keeping them in the mix. Joe Musgrove, 225 ERA, a Cy Young caliber performance for sure. Yu Darvish, I know he had a stint with the Rangers. Some might say that was the best numbers he ever put up, and they might be right. But I mean, 3.53 ERA, 1.01 WHIP is still pretty darn good. He has pitched the most innings out of anybody on that team. Sean Manaea, 4.18 ERA. You also got the likes of Nick Martinez and Mackenzie Gore, Blake Snell, all of them with ERAs in the 3 range. Aside from Blake Snell. Blake Snell is a 5.13 ERA. What the heck, man? You win a Cy Young and then you go downhill. I mean, what are you doing, man? No wonder the Rays gave you up. And then, of course, the Giants are 9.5 games back. It would be cool if it was a 3-horse race because, I mean, let's just be honest. It's cool if it's more than a 2-horse race, but I guess you'll just have to see. But alas, that is it. LA, big markets. That is the name of the game until otherwise said. So there you have it. There goes our predictions. Some tight races, some not so tight races, but it's still exciting. Nonetheless, All-Star Game is upon us, people, and we're definitely going to hit that up. We also have the Field of Dreams game coming up pretty soon, so a lot of cool milestones to look forward to. But we'll go ahead and end with the No Doubter rankings. This one was a lot more tight. You have the Red Sox at number 10 because they deserve some notoriety. Brewers at number 9, so both of those are unchanged. Cardinals going down a little bit. at the number 8 position. They just been cooling down a little bit. The Twins moving up a spot to the number 7 position. They're really coming into their own. Padres again, they've gotten beaten up by the Dodgers, so they moved down to the number 6 position. The Braves just continue to be excited about this team. I mean, they're in the number 5 position, and I don't regret that at all because I mean, come on, plus 52 run from differential, 47 and 34, which is better than really any. It's better than any AL East record aside from the Yankees, and it's just they're really starting to get hot. So they are at the number 5 position. Number 4 is the Mets. They do go down a little bit. They did get beat up by the Astros, so it's they couldn't shine when the light was brightest. The Dodgers going up because the Dodgers are number 3, and then of course the Astros are at number 2. We have to keep the Yankees at number 1, but it might not be for long. The Astros are knocking on that door. They were number 1 at the very beginning of our preseason rankings. Will they return? We will see, but man, it's just these top 4 teams. They're all in big cities: New York, L.A., Houston. All these cities are the most populated in America, with the exception of Chicago, which begs the question, Travis, why can't a big market team like Chicago be good? Come on.
I don't know, man. There's something in the water there off Lake Michigan. It's messing with their acumen and decision making for the front offices there.
You know what happens, right? They dye the river green.
Yes, they dye the Chicago River green,
and then they drink it
every St. Patrick's Day,
and everybody drinks it.
Don't drink green water. It doesn't work out well for you.
Yes, it ends up with you just amounting to nothing in anything. On that note, T-Money, let's land the plane, man.
Yes, sir. That sounds like a fantastic idea. Because we're the wheels are starting to fall off, and B, I'm tired. So, friends, this has been another great episode of No Doubter here. We just asked some things out of y'all as we're wrapping it up today. First off, you should have done this like way long ago, but if you haven't, you should be subscribed to No Doubter. You do that wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's Spotify, Apple, Google, really wherever podcasts are found, we are there. Subscribe. Don't miss out on anything that we put out. That also includes our YouTube channel as well, too, which helps us put out these live streams of our show. If you want to listen to our show, you can do so live and see our pretty faces in the process. YouTube is a great place to do that, in addition to us being able to stream it as well through our Facebook and Twitter pages. Leave us a review to let us know how you've enjoyed No Doubter. Make sure that you are looped in with us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Twitter and Instagram are both going to be at No Doubter Pod. Boom and myself are also on Twitter at Boombostic21 and at Travis Lawfully. Take a look at our Patreon if you've never done so before. We have a great Patreon program where you can join us there, and we can start building a community of people that are passionate about the sport of baseball, giving even greater level of access to our show. It'll help us recoup some costs along the way. When you're part of our Patreon community, you are part of helping make this show possible. And we give shout outs as such, no matter what level you're part of. So shout out to a couple guys here. First off, Mr. Tad Bostic, our longest standing patron, and our Patreon producer, Mr. Don Hale, all the way up there at the legend level here in our Patreon community. We cannot thank you all, you fellas, enough for your support of our show. Check out our merch store. Our partner T Public has done an incredible job putting together various items of swag, including t-shirts, baseball shirts, hoodies, crew neck sweatshirts, coffee mugs, pop sockets for your phone. There's all sorts of little items that you can get there in the store to help spread the word about No Doubter in your everyday life. Stuff that you can wear, stuff for the kiddos, stuff for the desk at the office. Really, there's great selection there from T Public that they've put together for us. You'll see the links for all those things in the description below. Boom, we're landing the plane now. Let's deplane the plane.
There you go. Just like I was over the weekend. Wheels up, wheels down. Guys, I know we just came back from the holiday weekend, but let's go into this week. Back to work, back to the grind, no doubter way. Batting 400 and always swinging for the fences. We love y'all. We will see y'all next week. Cheers.